Bonjour, bienvenue, welcome to our French frugal homestead project at Champ de la Grange. I'm Ruth, living here with Nigel and a French cat called Sybil, Sibyl or Sibs, who arrived on the doorstep one day soon after we moved here, thin, losing fur, and moved in and never left. The plan, sharing ideas for living simply and looking at the changing seasons in this, our hidden corner of France. Practical ideas for potager, herb garden, which is my interest, crafts, ideas, and frugal farmhouse kitchen recipes. We'll introduce you to the homestead, the locality, tracking the seasons in Chassignol, hills on the horizon, fields, streams, pond and trees that we planted. Wild boar, deer, woodpeckers and pheasants and foxes visit the homestead. You can see here how things have changed since we first came to visit this house in 2016. So we'll share some mindful, reflective moments for stressful days. When the pond sprung a leak last week and drained out, I really needed those. Videos around every month based on the seasons, nature notes and frugal ideas. So please join us en route and stop off and share each new chapter at the Frugal French Homestead. Have a look, see there's 2019, that's the garden when it was pretty much a ploughed field, and here we are now moving into the herb garden and looking back on how things were just before lockdown. There's the copse and the wood, and there's Sybil, you might just spot her. Thrifty today. We're taking fallen branches from the oak trees to dry for firewood. Quite a lot of heavy branches came down in quite a severe storm a couple of weeks ago in January. So here we are. And that's Nigel. So today I'm driving into the village, into Chassigneau. Napoleon renamed this area the Indre, but the locals still call it the Berry. 160 years ago, when our house was built, it was mainly oak forests, and there was still an occasional wolf around until probably about 1900. Clog and charcoal making were the main industries here. We're coming out onto a road in a minute where you'll see quite a lot of oak trees, and it's called the Rue de Chêne, or Oak Tree Road. And the name Chassigneau comes from oak tree, probably linked to a word in the Berry dialect, which is quite different to what we think of as French. Look, if you see now the historic oak trees, there are too few. I wish there were more of these slow-growing trees. We're very lucky to have two which give a canopy of shade at Champ de la Grange. Here's the village. Coming into the village now, you'll see the church, l'église. We'll pass the village museum, the Museum of Traditions, which showcases life in the countryside about 160 years ago. So here we are, I'm arriving in town. So pause for a minute and I'll be back soon. It's hilly country here. Chassigneau is on the first slopes of the Massif Central, and the Berry Bas is known for its hedgerows or its bocage. This is France profonde, secret hidden France, with a history of sorcery, Roman bridges, medieval castles, ancient crafts like cider, walnut oil, willow, basket weaving that are kept alive. This road in the autumn we see people foraging. I think it's for chestnuts and mushrooms. Definitely woodland groves, meadows, streams, giving what our commune website calls a resting frame of a deep green. There are stories of fairies and elves in the woods. There must have been volcanoes here once. We're close to the Auvergne, with its very famous extinct volcanic cones, and our garden has so many types of rock, it's difficult to count. Quartz, granite, limestone. Almost home now. See you again when I go out next time. Bye. Well, the weather's changed. It's horrible. It's hard to know what to do this afternoon. I finished work. I'm not seeing any clients this afternoon. It just seemed a good idea to think frugal French homestead and get out some patchwork and have a little look. So I got a cup of tea, green tea today, and persuaded my dearest husband to go and search out from various attics my patchwork kit, because I haven't had time to look at it since we moved here, because I'm always doing things with paint or upcycling furniture and I never get a chance to do patchwork. So here we go today. Right, cold afternoon, nothing better than looking at patchwork. So just share it with you because it's so interesting what I found. I'd forgotten most of it, so here it is. Here's part of a cushion which I made. I don't know when I did it, but I'm gonna work on that. Might make it into a table runner, might make it into a cushion, might make it into a little baby bed quilt for a dolly or a teddy. So there's all sorts of options with that. I thought I'd lost them, but I haven't, thank goodness. I've got my patterns. So you have a look here, the piecing, the planning, it's all here. I've always hand pieced, I've always hand stitched. I do have a sewing machine. I'm not ruling out having a go with it, but I always like to stitch in that very traditional way. So here are my pieces, here are my patterns, and ready to go. Next thing to think about is what am I going to do with projects and where am I going to go with fabric. Interesting with the fabric because the last piece of work I did, and I'll show you, and take a photo of it and show you, I did very modern. I did very batik type fabric. Love this one, just love that purple and blue and the aquamarine and the way that it all melds together. I think the French for that is un mélange. So there we go, we've got un mélange de tissu. So that's the French for material, un mélange de tissu. Somebody will tell me I've got that wrong, but it's close, it's close. And that's how I worked last time. I'm thinking of going back more to the fabric, more to the William Morris, more to the Liberty type fabric. I've got these, I think they're American cotton from the US, and it's good. So I had some of these, too many years to mention. A project pack, yep, American cotton fabric from a UK firm, and you can see I've got my they're not fat quarters. That's a fat quarter. There's a fat quarter. That's big enough to be a fat quarter. But most of them are this wonderful size that I seek out and find where I can, which is probably, there we are. That's the size. So we've got that. That's what I'm looking at. Got greens and yellows here, and treasure. Absolute treasure. I found a kit which has got these rather wonderful brown colours in it. See if I can pull one out to show you, because this is absolute treasure here. Look at that. The red. I never choose to work with red, but it goes so well with that cream. It's absolutely all here. And I love this brown. I love those colours there. See if I can come a little bit nearer. The tiny rosebuds, the background, which is that very Tana lawn type background, and a little bit of paisley. Our daughter married a Scotsman about 18 months ago, so we've always got to have a bit of paisley in everything we do now with projects. So we've got to have a little bit of that Scottish heritage for certainly for our little baby granddaughter. So there we are. I'm gonna look and show you some of the older projects that I've done. So here we go. Let's move my cup of tea. These are things that you might be seeing in the months ahead. We've got aprons and bags. So here's a bag. And when I'm feeling I want to do a quick job, I want to do a present for somebody, something very quickly, I find something like a cloth bag or a cloth apron. I think I'm going to be able to pull an apron out here and show you. Yep, here comes one. The excitement, guys, the excitement this afternoon. So there we are, apron. And it's possible to do a little corner of patchwork. I put the apron on so that you can see it. It's possible to do a little corner of patchwork here or here, so that you're not having to do a whole project, but you're actually making a gift for somebody, which costs only as much as the apron. I got these probably for about £4 or £5 English. It's probably gone up in price now because I've had them in storage, but they're not going to cost a fortune. I have something to show you here, which is rather special and just shows how long patchwork can last. Here we go. See if I can piece this out. I think I'm going to move over here and put it over the back of the settee so that you So you can see here a quilt that I started to make probably about 32 years ago, 33 years ago. It's not recent, certainly 30 years ago. Made out of my daughter's baby clothes. Soon after I made it and pieced it together, my interest changed. I wanted something that matched together, was much more colour coordinated. But as you can see, a lot of bright colours here, and a very, very simple, just a hexagon pattern. So here we are. It's nearly finished. It's a single quilt, it isn't a double quilt, but it's all ready to piece on and put together as a project. I've got my sewing light on today. It's so dark, you just need to have your sewing light on these times. So there you go. It's my favourite here, very much in a sort of historic Laura Ashley type pattern there. And here we've got just beautiful red, blue, multicoloured baby clothes. And actually that's a maternity dress I wore, so that's how old it is. And I think one of the pins may have gone rusty, but it doesn't matter, it's going to be revived. It's one of my projects. So a lot happening here with piecing, with patchwork. More to share, just an insight into what I'm trying to do as I change my life that little bit away from work and much more into the simple things, that simple life, patchwork. See you soon.
It's frosty and very cold out there today. Everything's white. It's been white since yesterday morning. Even the cat doesn't want to go outside and explore her territory this morning. It's one of those days here at Champ de la Grange. This is a mindful moment. Try to put them into the movies, call them a movie occasionally. And here we go. It's going to be that mindful moment. Let's just make sure that you're wrapped up warm wherever you are. If you're in the southern hemisphere and it's summer, then maybe this will work when it's winter for you. But here we go. So make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure that you are in a place where you feel comfortable. And just notice what's around you. You don't want to notice it in 2 minutes. You want it just to be noticed now so that you can actually then concentrate on just taking your mind into another place for a few minutes. Think about the difference between feeling very cold, imagine that cold sensation, and feeling very warm. Cold and warm. And in your head, imagine a day where it's frosty. You could actually go sliding on that frost, and the trees look white with hoarfrost, absolutely covered in it. Overnight, we had some icy rain, and this morning the road was so slippery that we didn't even go out to the supermarket. The weather was absolutely awful this morning. And so as the day went on, the sun came out. So what we're looking for is what I did this morning, is that contrast between the coldness, the absolute coldness of the frost, and then the sun and the warmth of the sun. Sunshine on frost. Just imagine, wriggle your fingers a little bit. I often find just putting them down by my sides and feeling them heavy just helps me when I'm doing mindfulness meditation. So let your fingers down by your sides and imagine that they're feeling a little bit cold. Oh, mine feel cold just as I'm saying that. So your fingers are feeling cold, and then the sun comes out, and then all of a sudden you're imagining that warmth in your fingers and that lovely warmth, and everything feels cozy again, like a cocoon, like that warmth that we need. So numbness in your fingers, if you're walking outside on a cold, snowy, frosty day, and then you come in and imagine that warmth, numbness and coldness to warmth, and ice. Maybe imagine, if you, like I do, imagine the garden, imagine the countryside, imagine one of those leaves that's actually edged round, etched with frost. It's frosty. I've got some photos of that we'll put on the website for you to see. And before I go, imagine your favourite time of year. Are you a spring, a summer, an autumn, a winter person? Imagine in your head a day that's perfect for you. It might be it's a cold day with snowballs and snowmen and just fun with the children. Or it might be it's a spring day where you look at the tree and you see those first buds of spring and the signs of spring and new life. You might be somebody just like sitting under a shady tree on a warm day in summer, or one of those people who goes for a walk in the winter, in the autumn, and likes to feel the leaves crunching under your feet. You might be a fall or an autumn person. Imagine a picture postcard, a scene in your head of your perfect winter, summer, autumn, spring day, whatever your favourite time of year might be. And in your mind, just almost click it, click, like you might if you had your phone camera out. Take a a still, a photo of it, and then carry that in your mind during the week. And if you meet a stressful moment and things are difficult to how you'd want them to be, imagine your scene, bring it out. It's great for reducing stress, quite good at reducing anxiety because it's a distraction. It's there and it's helpful. So I'm calling it a mindful memory jogger. Create your own mindful memory jogger and then carry that round with you during the week. So shoulders still relaxed. If you had your eyes closed while I'm talking to you, open them. Just look around and enjoy the world. And we'll have another mindful moment at Champ de la Grange on the Frugal French farmstead, homestead, quite soon. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye.